Hey guys, today's gear. We have the B5 knot from Declaration Grooming and a hammer and chisel handle. Haven't really heard of that company before until I got this brush years ago, and haven't really heard of it since then. Deluxe. This is a 17 millimeter. It's the distance between from the end of the comb here to the inside of the comb there to the inside of the comb there. There's also a 15 millimeter deluxe, and this is a new deluxe. New meaning the Gillette New, capital N-E-W, all caps there. That's what we call it. And it's a very smooth shaver for me. Let's see how it's going to use this Nacet blade that we have today. It's on its, this will be its 374th shave, and we're going to use the Mogno soap from Ach Brito, and it is an enjoyable soap that has been kind of calling me. You ever had, it's not the best performing soap, but I just have a draw toward hard soaps, and especially the scent on this one's really nice. It's not crazy, it's just, I really enjoy it, and I don't quite know why I want to use this soap more than a lot of the other ones I have in my collection. But it does, it kind of generates a craving every once in a while. And the strange thing is, like you guessed from the shape of that box, it is a bar style shaving soap. It does say shaving soap. I'm not using a hand soap as a shaving soap. And so I'm using this little container here to travel with it when I do travel. And I am taking it out and just using it. There's the logo there. And I'm just holding it in my palm as I load the soap into the wet brush. So that's what we'll do. And but we will do that after we load the blade into the razor. Now this is a nice setup here because it does not allow any mispositioning of the blade. You don't have to put it right here first. Usually when I'm not doing it in front of the camera, I put the blade on here first. But since I'm holding it vertically and all that stuff, it really doesn't matter too much. And that's all there is to it. And there's really only one way the blade can go on. I love the beauty of the texturing here, the pattern of the knurling, and it's just a very interesting, it's kind of a heavy razor, and the balance point is fairly near the head. I find it very easy to use and quite smooth. The way you can tell a new deluxe from the normal new, they're all open comb, but look at this base plate here. There's no bump, there's no hump that starts in the middle and goes out on both sides. Right here in the middle of the base plate, it's all flat. That's how you can tell it's a new deluxe. Distinguish it from a new. And let me get my face wet, and then we can load up the soap. We have loaded up 40 milliliters of water. We'll see how much we use. Do some subtraction at the end. And then let us, I was looking at the duration of the last shave that I did, but I forgot to make a note of it and remember it. I got distracted. I'm going to shake a lot of the water out here. This knot is nice and it holds quite a bit. Okay, let's, as I recall, it's nice and concentrated. It comes loose pretty easy, and so I don't need to do a ton of loading. Let's just try 20 seconds. So we'll go from 35 to 55. And that's 10 seconds. The wetter, lighter stuff is going to just kind of drip into the sink. And there we go. So let's just see how that works out. And I can go ahead and put some of that into the bowl because I don't know if this is going to be plenty or what did we do? Yeah, we did 20 seconds, I think, right? So I'm going to use this on my face. And see, I can already feel that nice slickness there. Okay. Just a nice scent, kind of woody. Mogno is a foreign word for mahogany. So that's and look at that, it's really kind of thick. I wonder if I could just kind of take a wet brush and turn this into a good first pass. Now, of course, if you want to have the soap not be as messy, you can definitely put it in any kind of container you want. And all you have to do is grate it into shreds. You don't have to grate the whole puck, but just enough so that it will fit in the container of your choice, and then you can pack the shreds around it. Or you can shred the whole thing. People have been doing that to get Mitchell's wool fat, fine accoutrements, to back those hard pucks into any kind of container that they need over time. You do not want to melt, like in the microwave or even in a double boiler. You do not want to melt a tallow soap and be able to then pour it into another shaped container. You can do that with most of the glycerin soaps out there, but do not do it with a tallow soap. You can alter the chemical composition and destroy its some of its positive features. And so in the shredding, like use a cheese grater. Some people say to use a little bit of water as you assemble, as you pack the shreds down in, but I never really have, and then nothing gets sticky. Right now we're at about almost 4 tablespoons. So we're about at 19 milliliters of water. Yeah, we've got plenty of soap. I like this brush because it's got soft tips. They are gelled, but they're not too much for me. They don't feel like a bunch of sponges on the ends of ropes, you know. They're very soft, and this particular brush has a higher than average loft for the B5 knot, and so it is comfortable enough and splays nicely for me. I think we're going to stop there. I can add water more if I need to during the shave, and rinse this off. Now that we're in the 370s in terms of uses of this blade, it's kind of always new territory. You never know which razors are going to be able to use the blade to its greatest comfort and closest shave. So you kind of have to just revisit different razors frequently. can already tell that we are. I'm going to want to add a little bit of water here, so why not go ahead and start a little bit. If I just pour a little bit in, it doesn't leak out. So with it being this concentrated, I can tell that I have, I'm glad I just stuck with the 20 seconds of loading. It's really hard to add just a little bit of water with this jigger, but that's the only problem I've had with it since switching to it, I don't know, a month ago? 2 months ago? Look at all that lather that's generating on the side of my brush. Good slick feel to it. Yeah. See, I can even take all that off, put it in the bowl. Plenty left. Plenty. I need to add some more water. I watched one of my recent videos because I do a written summation in the description of each video, and that's also what I post when I post my shave of the day over on Reddit in the wet shaving subreddit. And I had forgotten some of the issues with that shave, the pros and cons, that sort of thing. It was my shave with Clar a few days ago. I just published it just now, and so I went back and watched the video so that I could report on the lather, the soap smell, the performance of the lather, was I happy with the ratio, that sort of thing, all those comments that I make. And I decided to time how long I worked the brush on my face. It was about 3.5 minutes. Some people think that because if you bowl lather, that you don't spend a lot of time enjoying a wonderful brush you might have purchased on your own skin. They think that you create it in the bowl and then just kind of wipe it on. I think there are probably some face latherers out there that spend less time than 3.5 minutes working their lather onto their face. Sometimes those face latherers say, I don't want to bowl lather because then I don't get to enjoy my brush as much. I think 3.5 minutes plus a little bit extra between the passes as you apply more, I think that's a nice amount of time. It was tuggy on the first pass here, but we'll see if things get smoother. In the past, and I'm going to add a little bit of water to the lather since I did have to add quite a bit to the first pass. In the past, I have, with this old blade, sometimes done 2 with the grain passes. If I felt like the first with the grain pass wasn't all that good at cutting hair. I think with this blade, I'm going to switch to the cross grain pass. Yeah, look at this. This is a terrific lather. That's great. And so if I need to do more than 3 passes, I'll do an extra cross grain instead of an extra with the grain. I think I will have better efficiency that way. Yeah, I really like this lather. It's really well done. And this is just 20-second load, and I've got plenty of lather. Okay, so cross grain now. And this is really pretty comfy. Very slightly tuggy, but not even uncomfortable. Oh, I forgot to show you the blade in kind of more detail. I still haven't managed to get to the store to get an etcher. I told you a few shaves ago that when I used it with my Sterling stainless razor, that it kind of rubbed off some of those dots that I've kind of used as a signature. So let's show you that before I forget. I don't even have to take it out of the top cap. There's the little dots right there. You can definitely see one dot, and if you look close enough, if the focus was right and the resolution was good, you'd be able to see portions of the other dots. But you can definitely see the tweaked angle of the bend that I put in it. Use number about 225. It should be right down here. Yeah, see right there. It's got a little tweak right there. Turns out that's kind of been able to be a little bit of a signature. It does, I can tell which side I am shaving with. It does feel more aggressive, but I flattened it out a little bit at the time when I fixed it, but I didn't want to push too hard to upset the apple cart and make it to where I couldn't use the blade anymore. Oh yeah, let's finish this pass. Oh, I think I have a tiny bit of redness right there. So we did kind of awaken a cut that I did about a week ago. But it's going obviously very slowly. So it will heal itself up. Man, the scent here is just nice. It's not super strong. It's just nice in a way I guess I just really like. All right, let's get a good rinse. So that was the second pass, and now we will do the third. Yeah, that lather looks great. Feels nice and creamy. Definitely very slick. That's a mole that I have right there, and so that's why it will occasionally get cut. All right, so third pass, cross grain. Very comfortable, and I'm not feeling any irritation. That may be the last pass I need to do on the cheek there. This is a favorite of all of the vintage razors. This is definitely in my top. Maybe half dozen in there with razors like the flat bottom Tech. Matter of fact, it might be in my top 3. Okay, now I'm going to switch to a cross grain from down here. And I've learned that in general with this old blade, now that I'm in the 370s, that it's really kind of required if I want to get a close enough shave right here that I have to do it against the grain pass right there. It would be kind of miraculous if this razor shaved me so closely that I didn't have to do that. So let us have a good rinse, check that area out. Yeah, a little too much. It does feel like it's cutting, but a little too much left, a little too much shadow left there. So let us see if we can do that against the grain pass right there. Cheeks feel very nice, so we're good there. So just this side over here. This lather, just something about a hard soap. The scent is great. I already explained it. I enjoy it so much that it keeps making me want to try to make sense of it. I just really enjoy it. All right, against the grain, I am going to pick. This is the one time where I'm going to pick the side that has the bend in it right there, and use the opposite side for this stroke. It is a little irritating, a little tuggy. And so I wouldn't do it unless I was really trying to push a blade to the maximum. I don't know, some of you, I guess you've just got tougher skin than I do, like to do that every day. I do not. Sure enough, there are sections right there that have been cut really closely, and so I don't have tough skin, but somehow I'm able to make these blades, at least this particular one so far, last a lot longer than many people can. And there's just one little patch right there that I would like to, I don't think I went as low as I could go. And really, I am very happy with the closeness. Oh, and that scent. A light soapiness to it, but mostly the woodiness. Oh, it's like a woody cologne. It's classic, but it's really nice. I like it. Hits me exactly where enjoyment is. I don't know if it does it for anybody else. And that's a crazy close shave right there. Whole big old section where I was really able to get it. Don't see any tips at all. You don't even see the end of the hair that's flush with the skin. Really close shave. And I'm not experiencing any irritation. I think I will say that if you are a person who has very dry skin, maybe this soap isn't for you. It does have a little bit of a drying nature to it as the water kind of evaporates on your face there after you're done using it. I think your average person is not going to have a problem, because if you needed to, you could just throw a balm on afterwards. I've got oily skin, so it's especially not a problem for me, but I will warn dry skin folks that this may not be a good soap for you. I got it on sale at a website, and like for $7, and it smells this great and performs really well, and it looks like it's gonna last a long time. I mean, the money is right, the scent is right, and the performance is right. It's tremendous. I wish I had more shaves a year I could squeeze into than just 365 with nice soaps like this. Well, after the shave, I brought Samhain, properly pronounced Samhain, and it doesn't have alcohol, and so we need to shake it up because it's got things like witch hazel, and the scent is pumpkin, sandalwood, bourbon, and tobacco. Now, I don't go to Starbucks, but my wife does. And so I know about that whole pumpkin spice craze that happens whenever that season rolls around, and that is not me at all. I do not like pumpkin to that extent. Matter of fact, I don't really like it. I don't eat pumpkin pie. It's just not my thing. And so I'm not using this because of the pumpkin. I'm using it because it's just a really good blend with all the other stuff that is coming into play. Pumpkin and what else? My mind went blank. Sandalwood, bourbon, and tobacco. Yeah, those are some good scents. Oh, the woodiness. The tobacco's in the back seat for now, along with the bourbon. So the pumpkin and the wood. Who knew those would go so well together? But that's really good, man. I'm really glad I picked this one tonight. And the woodiness, of course, is matching very nicely with the Mogno. And I've got another 3 passes at least here in my bowl, so the 20 seconds of loading can be reduced, that's for sure. Mogno continues to impress. This deluxe razor, the 17mm version, is a good razor to have. If you got a young blade, then it's crisp and clean and smooth and close cutting and all these wonderful words. But if you got an old one like this, super old, nearing the 400 mark, it apparently does a decent job too with that. And when I go against the grain, it does an amazing job. So we are happy about that. The Samhain, man, that just, I'll be enjoying that for the next hour, that's for sure. And this is what this guy looks like after a good stropping on the towel. You can see that the tips aren't super jelly at all, and they're not really clumping together, and that's one of the reasons I love many of the brushes from the B5 batch. I don't like super jelly tips. The good news is, if you like gel tips, then a lot of the other batches from Declaration Grooming, and there is a huge selection of gel knots out there. So many people are making them. You won't have a problem finding one if you want one. Matter of fact, it's much harder to find a 2-band that is not jelly than it is to find one that is. One of the things I like to do is smell the soap I used during the shave after I have with the presence around me of the aftershave. Sometimes you get to take different things, and what the Samhain has allowed me to perceive in the Mogno here is a fresh water type aquatic note. I wonder if I were to go and look that up, if it would actually mention woody aquatic, and maybe I've never been able to smell the aquatic part because I haven't had the contrast like I'm having right now. And because the woodiness is in with the Samhain, and so it's kind of subtracting the woodiness out of here, and I don't pick that up as much. Interesting. It's always fun to see what you smell. Again, here's the box for the Mogno. It may have a different pronunciation. I believe it's Italian. It could be Mogno or something like that. Not really sure. Almost forgot the water there. We used quite a bit. That is a concentrated soap, so we needed a lot of water to get where we needed to. And I probably could have actually used a little bit more since that first pass was quite concentrated. We are looking at, wow, 29 milliliters of water, almost 6 teaspoons of water. Pretty wild. And it could have easily been a little bit more than that. How about that? You know, I believe that somebody who's really into pumpkin would be able to identify it from the scent profile. Me, not so much. It's possible that I could smell this for weeks and not be able to pick it out because it just doesn't smell like, oh, hey, this is a food. You know, I think the pumpkin is just almost a slightly creamy, neutral, earthy kind of base for the wood and the leather and the smoke to play around on. And so it's there. If a person enjoys pumpkin, you'll be able to pick it out. But if you don't care for pumpkin, whether it's there or not, then you could potentially use this and not really even pick it out. I think it's a genius level of pumpkin in this because of those reasons. I don't like pumpkin all that much, but I like this scent quite a bit. It's a great way to have those other things play around, and it's got a warmth, a smooth warmth about it as well. I can see how people might not want to use it in the summer, but honestly, those other 3 notes I mentioned, the leather, the wood, the smoke, all those are enjoyable to me any time of the year, and so I could use this any time of the year. Matter of fact, we're in a hot season right now where it's 85 or something during the day, and I'm kind of warm in my room, that sort of thing, and I'm still just enjoying this scent for sure. Well, I think that will do it for this shave. Wonderful aftershave, and the soap scent was terrific. I hope there was something in here for you. And we'll keep on the journey. We will hit 375 tomorrow with the blade, and in a few days on Tuesday we'll have the start of the Lather games. I'm gonna have to change my broadcast, my publishing schedule a little bit, because you have 24 hours to publish your shave, to post your to shave and make your post, and I think about 2 or 3 a.m. is where the cutoff is, and often I'm shaving at 1 or 2 a.m. because of my schedule, and that doesn't allow me too much time to do the write-up and that sort of thing, and unless I want to go the next day. But see, if I shave at 3 a.m. every day, then that's before they've kind of published the special task of the day. Like the first one, they've already told us, shave in a public place or outside. Now, obviously, I can shave outside. It's a shave out on the back porch, that kind of thing. I don't think we don't have anything on the front of this particular place to where I could put any of my gear. So maybe I get the garden hose going, So we'll see. We'll see how that works out. Maybe just do it old school with some kind of basin and a pitcher of water or something like that. So we'll just have to see. And the theme for day 1 is spring types of scents, like florals. If it's marketed as a summer scent, then no, spring is specifically it. So we'll try to put something together there. All right. All the best to you guys. Get vaccinated if you haven't. Think seriously about it. If you're a little hesitant, I have. Matter of fact, this week a few days ago was my date to become fully immune, with my vaccination having the greatest strength. So I'm past that point now. And I just hope people really embrace that. We get more of the population to take care of that. All right. Have a good night. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. Take care.